children, welcome to NEET WORLD. This is Narayani, I am your foundation faculty. In previous class, we discussing about the assertion and reasoning questions, right children? And in that questions, we are left of 3 questions, 8, 9, 10. So, let's discuss the remaining questions here, and in this session, we are going to discussing about very short answer type questions also. Then it is came to end of the crop production and management chapter from the 8th standard CBSE. Okay children, so before going to the start the session, I would like to announce the very important news for you children. We are started the foundation course from the April 1st onwards children. So the next batch is going to start from the April 15th onwards. Our main motto is to understand the main concepts from the NEET and JEE examinations. The basic level of understanding of concepts of both NEET and JEE examinations. Our classes available in English medium for both CBSE also and SSE also. And children, the main subjects covered by us are physics, chemistry, mathematics and biology. Right children? And the most experienced teachers only going to teach for you children. And mainly one more important thing children, one-on-one interactions will be there. The doubt clearing sessions will be one-on-one interaction. You can happily clear your doubts without any hesitation. And children, our mode of learning is through digital panel. So children, we are using the digital panel, but we are creating the animations, videos, right children? So to get the better understanding level of for you children. This is about our foundation course. It is available both offline also and online also. For offline people, you can happily come to our institute name called NEET WORLD, present in Hyderabad, Narayani G near metro station. Who want to join in through online sessions can happily, down the scrolling number is there, no, by contact with us and make sure to join in our online sessions. It is available in the app name called MedWorld children. We will give you access for you children. The first free basic classes for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th, the basics of these classes are free children. So don't miss this opportunity, join with us. So boost your efficiency in subjects of physics, chemistry, mathematics and biology children. So this is up to the foundation course. So let's start our today's session. So we are discussing about the assertion and reasoning questions, right? So let's start those questions. Till 7th question we discussed children. This is the last question we discussed, right? So coming to the next question. So here is the next question. 1 minute. 1 minute children. Okay. See, here what they asked, the assertion is sowing of seeds with seed drill is better than broadcasting, they are saying. And in broadcasting, seeds are unevenly distributed in the field. So they are saying about the broadcasting. What is meant by broadcasting? The randomly sowing of seeds. We call it as broadcasting, right children? So what is meant by seed drill? Seed drill is a better equipment, right? Seed drill is a better equipment. They are better because they sow seeds at equidistance and equidepth. Right children? After sowing of seeds, after sowing of seeds, the seeds are covered with soil. Thereby, the birds, predators like birds cannot eat them. Thereby, at equidistance, at proper depth, the seeds are placed. It will give the when it germinates, it gives a young plantlets, right children, and they use sufficient amount of water, sunlight, space. Thereby there is no competition. Competition will be eliminated, right children? So that they are saying sowing of seeds with seed drill is a better than broadcasting. Of course, it is the true statement. Assertion is true, right children? Seed drill used with plow, right? And with the plow, a funnel like equipment will be kept, and in that seeds will be present. By plowing, the seed with the seeds in the funnel are placed into the ground of the soil at equidistance and with equidepth. After sowing of seeds also, the seeds are covered with soil, right children? This is how the seed drill equipment works, right children? So for this, what they given the reason? In broadcasting, the seeds are unevenly distributed in the field. Of course, it is a true statement. see, in broadcasting the seeds are unevenly distributed, which means they are they throw the seeds randomly, thereby so it is also correct reason. Here they are discussing about the seed drill is better than they are saying broadcasting. Here the they are definited the broadcasting. Seeds are unevenly distributed in the field. It is also right children. That is why the answer for this question is A, because both assertion and reason are true and the reason is the correct explanation of assertion. So the answer is A. Right children, are you clear about this question? Okay, going to the next question. 1 minute. Okay, this is the next question. See here what they asked. Assertion, buffer stock is the extra stock of food grains which has to be maintained for emergency conditions. See, yes, what is meant buffer stock? Buffer stock is nothing but the extra. 1 minute. Extra stock of grains. Why they have to keep the buffer stock? Because the natural the sudden rainfalls, heavy rainfalls, or the short rainfalls, the adequate amount of water is not reached to the crop, then the crops will not be get in our hands, right children? Thereby in that time if the yield is not come to our hands, then what they will do, before we store stock of grains will use as a food, right children? The need is filled by the extra stock of grains, right? So which has to be maintained for emergency conditions. What are the emergency conditions? So if it may be the natural calamities like heavy rainfalls or else sudden rainfalls or shortage of rains, these are all the mostly affect the crop yields, then only we didn't got the crop into our hands, right children? In that emergency condition the buffer stock is useful. The buffer stock is nothing but the extra stock of grains is stored for the future use, right children? For the emergency conditions of floods, in that time the people use this buffer stock, right children? So what is the given the reason here? For storage, extra moisture is removed by drying food grains in the sun, which means, see, they given the for storage reason they gave. So in storage reasons, for the extra stock of grains, they used to use the nitrogen gas. Okay children, for they have to give this the proper reason, because to maintain the buffer stock, they have to, it is the right reason is nitrogen gas, which means why? Because nitrogen gas is sprayed in the buffer stock it eliminates the air and oxygen, thereby it prevents the moisture content and reduces the any insects, that all should be maintained. By spraying nitrogen gas, the attentive of microorganisms will be reduced and will not be attack the stock of grains. But here what they given, for storage extra moisture is removed by drying food grains in the sun. After this process only they used to do this buffer stock process. After because after harvesting periods, when the mature crop is gathered, the grains have, or else the stalk have, more amount of moisture content. So after threshing process, after threshing and winnowing, the grains still have the moisture content is more. So further they have to do some drying processes. Before going to stock the grains, they need to dry the grains in the sun. Thereby the moisture content in the grains will be reduced. Eliminated. Then the grains are eligible for the storage, but they are given here the storage method. But the assertion is about the after the process of drying process, buffer stock should be maintained. The region should be the according to the buffer stock. But here the reason is before the buffer stock, after the harvesting they given the reason of the storage. So it is the right answer, but it is not the correct explanation of assertion. Right children? For this buffer stock they used to use the nitrogen gas. Right children? They used to use the nitrogen gas. The gas is placed in the buffer stock, thereby any any attentive microorganisms thereby use of there is no presence of more oxygen. So the microorganisms are not attentive to damage the buffer stock. Thereby we are protecting the buffer stock for a long time. Right children? So the region should be according to the buffer stock, as well as the region is correct answer but is not the apt for the assertion, right. So here the both assertion is correct and region is also true, but the reason is not correct explanation of assertion. So the answer for this question is B. B is the answer for this question, because both assertion and reason are true, but it is not the correct explanation of assertion. That is why the answer is B. Coming to the last assertion and reasoning questions, children. See, this is the last question of assertion and reasoning questions. See here what they given assertion. Crop rotation is a method of replenishing of soil nutrients. So what they said, crop rotation. 1 minute. Here given the crop rotation is the method of replenishing of nutrients. Of course, crop rotation is the method used for the fulfilling the used nutrients. Fulfilling the used nutrients in the soil. Right children? In soil. So the assertion is true. Coming to the reason, what they given, crop rotation is used by the farmers so that they can grow different types of crops. Crop rotation is used by the farmers so that they can grow different types of crops at the same time. No, what is a crop rotation? So reason is absolutely wrong. Why is the reason is absolutely wrong, children? So crop rotation is a method, so in the field of, this is the landscape of agriculture. So here I made the crop of paddy. In the piece of land I made the paddy crop. Paddy utilizes the most abundant amount of nutrients of primary nutrients. In that mainly nitrogen is used more amount. Right children? So nitrogen is used more amount for the cereal crops like paddy, and wheat. Right children? So see here. Here I made the piece, in the piece of land I used to grow the desirable plants of paddy crops. So the which amount of more is absorbed by the plants? Yes, nitrogen is more amount is absorbed by this desirable crop. So for the next, so this crop is harvested. So for the next season, which of the mineral is less in amount, which of the nutrients is less in amount? Of course nitrogen, because nitrogen is utilized by the paddy crop, right children? It is less in amount is nitrogen. So to fulfill this nitrogen, we using the natural method. Here we are placing the leguminous crops. Leguminous plants having the special property called to fix the, they have ability to fix the nitrogen, right children? They have ability to fix the nitrogen. So thereby the the amount of the nitrogen will be again refilled in this piece of land landscape. Then again I used to grow the wheat plant here, wheat crop. In the wheat crop, wheat and paddy requires nitrogen. So the after filling the present nitrogen is used by these wheat plants. Right children? These wheat crops. Thereby how the crop rotation will be happen. Crop rotation is a method, not the different types of crops grown at the same time. It is a method alternating the crops. If the once I grown the paddy, next I grown the leguminous plants like groundnut example. After that I wheat crop. After that again leguminous crop. So children, I like pea plants. This is the alternation of crops. Crop rotation. Rotation word itself you can see that is a rotation. After that it is a cycling. Right children? This is what about the crop rotation, which is which is used for the method of replenishing of the soil. So here the assertion is absolutely true, but the reason is false statement. So crop rotation is not a method. The farmers grow different types of crops at the same time. They alternate the crops one after the other. Right children? So for this question, C is the right answer because the assertion is true, but the reason is absolutely false. So here the answer is C is the correct answer for this question. So coming to the next question. So this is up to the assertion and reasoning questions, children. So let's we go for the very short answer type questions. For this very short answer type questions, you can directly write the one word answers. One word statements are required for this very short answer questions. Children, I will explain very in detailed way, but it is not required to write the answer as I said, because for your better understanding I am explaining the topic, but you can write easily the direct statements only can have to write in the very short answer type questions. In examinations they used to give the 1 mark for this question. So for that one statement of answer is enough for this questions. So here see here, by looking into this question, what is the question given here? What is the name of the method of irrigation? What is meant by irrigation now? Irrigation. So it is irrigation is a method of supplying of water at regular intervals of time to the crops. So because the crops need significant amount of water, right children? Which crops are more amount of water they need? Kharif crops are required more amount of water, right children? They need significant amount of water, right children? Then compared to Rabi crops. Rabi crops are also required water, but they are used the mostly the percolated water in the under the ground, or else if it is required we can supply through irrigation methods, right children? We are discussed about this irrigation methods in a detailed way. So here what they are asking the question. So what is the name of the method of irrigation which uses a network of dripping pipes? What are the dripping pipes? See, these are the dripping pipes. So dripping pipes are used for the supplying of water to the plants through drop by drop. That irrigation we call it as drip irrigation. So the answer for this question is drip irrigation. The answer for this question is drip irrigation. Right children? So drip irrigation is a method used to provide the water to the plants drop by drop through pipes. So for this first question the answer is drip irrigation. So drip irrigation which used, as it is a costly method, it is not widely used by the farmers, but it is used in the areas of where is the water scarcity areas will be there, no? So in that areas they used to this drip irrigation method, right children? So drip irrigation method is not widely used by the farmers because as it is a costly method, but it is used in the areas where the water is not sufficient, not water scarcity areas. They used the drip irrigation methods. So for this question the answer is drip irrigation. I hope you all clear about this question, children. So next move to the next question. Okay. So just now move to the next question, children. So coming to the next question, second question, which method of sowing of seeds will you adopt to grow tomatoes? When we are explaining the lesson, children, we are discussed about the sowing of seeds, right children? But some plants like onion, chili, brinjal, tomatoes, sometimes they are used to transplanting method should be followed, which means they are transferred from the seed beds. The healthy crops, healthy plants should give the healthy quality of seeds, right children? Healthy quality of yield. So that is why sometimes the farmers they take the plants from the plants like tomatoes, onion, chili, brinjal. They used to take from the seed beds called nurseries. Children, they used to take from the nurseries and they plant it into the field. Thereby it reduces the chance of chance of unquality yield. There is why it leads to the better yield. For the healthy plants give the healthy yield, right children? So the transplanting method is followed here. What is the method? Transplanting method is followed here. The meaning of transplantation, trans means transferring plants to the particular field, right children? Here see what they are doing, they are transplanting the fields from they are taken from the from the nurseries. Here they are grown in the specific medium with healthy plants should be grown, and they are transferred into the field. There it gives the better yield. For the better yield and quality yield, the farmers used to do the transplanting method. So for this question, the answer is transplanting. So for the method, transplanting is the method. Transplanting is a method is used for sowing of seeds. Used for sowing of seeds to grow tomatoes and other plants like onion, chili and brinjal. So right children, this is about the second question answer. So I hope you clear about this question. Next, coming to the third question. So 1 minute children, here they asked about the nitrogen fixation plants. 1 minute. Okay. See. Yes, right children. Roots of which plants bear nodules? They are asking which plants bear nodules. When we are explaining the natural methods of replenishment of nutrients, there we discussed about this, the plants which bear nodules, ball-like structures, we call it as nodules, right children? The plants or leguminous plants, mainly which plants we call it as? Leguminous plants. Leguminous plants have the ability to fix the nitrogen, right children? They have ability to fix the nitrogen. How they will fix? With the help of root nodules. The ball-like structures we call it as nodules. In that the bacterium is present, example rhizobium, the bacterium able to fix the nitrogen and it provides to the plant. So after sufficient of the plant, that is released into the soil, thereby the soil also rich in the nutrient of nitrogen. Then the plants for the next crop, the plants can utilize that nitrogen, right children? So what they asked, roots of which plants they are asking, which plants? So the answer is, which plants examples? Let's see the first examples, groundnut, pea plant. These are the leguminous plants children. They can able to fix the nitrogen, right children? So for this question is legume plants. Legume plants. Can the legume plants have root nodules? The examples of this legume plants are children groundnut and pea plant. So this is about the third question children. So coming to the next question, name the term used for storing of grains for emergency. This is the type of question we seen in the assertion and reasoning also, right children? So they are asking about the term which is used for storing of grains. So the storing of grains, the extra grains are stored because for the use of the emergency conditions, by the for the short rainfall, or else the natural disasters, natural calamities like heavy rainfalls or else floods, they used to store the extra grains. That we call it as a buffer stock. The extra grain stored for emergency regions, emergency reasons, we call it as the buffer stock, right children? Buffer stock is used for the emergency situations, right children? The answer for this question is buffer stock, right? So okay, coming to the fifth question children. 1 minute. Here the fifth question. Name any two natural methods of replenishment of nutrients in the soil. They are asking about the two natural methods. What are the natural methods we discussed when we are studying about the replenishment of nutrients? So we are using the two methods which are very useful. One is mixed cropping. Here see, we cannot define the which crop it is. It is a mixed cropping. So it is a mixed cropping and crop rotation. These are the, they asked only two natural methods. They are enough to write the two methods. Another method is intermixing method. We also know about it. For this is the mixed cropping, this is the crop rotation. These are the two natural methods which are widely used by the farmers as the natural methods for replenishing of nutrients in the soil. So first one is mixed cropping. In mixed cropping, children, we cannot differentiate the mixed cropping we cannot differentiate the crops, right children, and it ensures the farmer to for the yield. If the one crop fail also, other crop will be benefited, right children. And next, crop rotation. Crop rotation is the method widely used for the like leguminous plants with non-leguminous plants. So if the first crop is leguminous plants, next crop is to be non-leguminous plants like paddy, wheat, and next crop is to be leguminous plants like groundnut, pea plant. This is the rotation of crops. Thereby the fixing of nitrogen will be happen. It is a good example for the cereal crops like non-leguminous plants and leguminous plants like groundnut and pea plant. Right children, for this question the answer is mixed cropping and crop rotation. So coming to the next question children, here they asked what are weeds? What are weeds children? When we are growing the desirable crops in the landscape of agriculture, along with our desirable crops, the undesirable crops also grown, right children? The undesirable crops also grown. The undesirable crops we call it as weeds. The unwanted plants grown with our desirable crops we call it as weeds, right children? The mostly grown weeds are amaranthus, parthenium, wild grass. These are the most widely we can see, xanthium. These are the four main unwanted plants grown with along with the our desirable crops, right children? So they are asking what are weeds? Weeds are unwanted plants. Unwanted plants, right children, and or undesirable crops, undesirable plants grown along with the desirable crops, right children? They compete with our desirable plants for nutrient requirement, water, space, whatnot. For everything, for sunlight, for space, and for the nutrient purpose, they used to compete with our desirable crops, right children? For this question, the answer is, though they are asked about the weeds, weeds are the unwanted plants, or we can write the undesirable plants grown along with the desirable plants. So the most commonly we seen, weed plants are amaranthus, parthenium, xanthium, wildgrass. These are the four weed plants we most commonly seen with our desirable plants, with our desirable crops. So coming to the next question, why should grains be dried before storage? Why they have to be stored? Why they have to be dried before storage? They are asking. Why they need to store? Because after the winnowing process, the crops are the grains have the more moisture content. If the drying process does not done, what will happen? So, the microorganisms are, for the moisture, the microorganisms are more attentive. Thereby the entire hard work, the crop will be wasted, right children? The microorganisms spoil the entire grains, right children? That is why That is why drying process should be done. For this question, the answer is what we write. So, for the drying process is necessary to eliminate the moisture content. Right children? Drying process is necessary to eliminate the moisture content, which is more attentive to grow microorganisms. Right children? Then the entire grains will be spoiled. Entire grains will be spoiled. So, to avoid that, the drying process should be done. The grain should be dried under the sun. So, for this, the drying should be done. So, why the drying should be done? Drying is the process necessary to eliminate the moisture content, which is more attentive to grow microorganisms. By growing the microorganisms, the entire grains will be spoiled. To avoid this, the drying should be done. When the grains have the more moisture content, they should be dry under the sunlight. Right children? This is about the 7th question here. Coming to the next question. Why does the government usually maintain a buffer stock for grains? Of course, why the government maintain the buffer stock? For the buffer stock, why does the government usually maintain a buffer stock of grains? Because for the emergency conditions, like heavy rainfall or shortage of rains, the yield is not come to our hands. Right children? The yield is not come to our hands. Then thereby, the buffer stock is used as supplement, used to provide all of the people. Right children? That is why the buffer stock is necessary. That is why the government store the buffer stock. Right children? So, coming to the next question, what is hybridization they are asking. What is meant by hybridization? Hybridization means, children, hybridization is a technique used to combine two different varieties to form a new variety. Hybridization is the technique which is used to combine two different varieties to form a new variety. For the purpose of high yielding crops, for the quality of crops, and for the higher yield, the hybridization should be developed. For example, in North India, sugarcane, Saccharum, it is a scientific name children, barberry, have to be grown in that area, but they doesn't have the enough sugar content. So, by the process of hybridization, they combine these two varieties and form the new variety. So, with the Saccharum barberry, they combine the Saccharum officinarum, which have thick stems and high sugar content. Thick stems and high sugar content. High sugar content. But not children, they are not grown in the North India in a wide way. So what they did, they combined these two varieties, sugarcane Saccharum barbarium and Saccharum officinum. They combined these two varieties and formed the new variety. Right children? So that sugarcane having the high yielding and high sugar content and thick stems. They having the thick stems and also they the new variety having the properties of both two different varieties, quality content will be present in that new variety, thereby increasing of yield occurs and having the with quality yield also happen. This is how the hybridization is. Hybridization is a technique which used to develop two different varieties, which combine two different varieties to develop a new variety, which should be helpful for the higher yield and quality yield. Right children? Example is Saccharum barbari and Saccharum officinum. These two, of same species, they are combined and give the new variety. So that variety have the characteristic features of both, Saccharum barbari and Saccharum officinum. They grown in North India, they give the high yield and with thick stems and high sugar content is there in that. So this is what about the hybridization. Right children? So they asked what is hybridization? Hybridization is a technique used to combine two different varieties to form a new variety. Right children? This is about the hybridization in plants. So combine two different varieties to give new variety. Right children? Which is used to help the high quality yield, and high quality yield. 1 minute children. And quantity also increases. For the specific purpose, we do the hybridization process. Right children? This is about the hybridization. Coming to the next question here, they asked what is the name of the method of growing different crops mixed together in the same area or the land and to replenish soil. They are asking which type of natural method it is. So what is the name of they are asking what is the name of the method. This is the method of using different types of crops mixed together, which cannot differentiate what is the crop it is in the same area or landscape or land to replenish soil. Why they are doing to replenish the soil? Why what is the answer for this question? Which method is used for the replenishing of soil by combining different types of crops, mixed cropping, different crops? The answer is yes, absolutely mixed cropping. Mixed cropping is a method used for it ensures farmers to get good yield in the heavy in the areas they mostly use these practices in the areas of heavy floods, heavy rainfalls. They used to do this mixed cropping, thereby the farmer get beneficial. Right children? This is about the 10th question. Mixed cropping is the name of the method of growing different crops mixed together in the same area or land to replenish to fulfilling the soil nutrients. This is the mixed cropping method. It is a natural method children. So coming to the next question. 1 minute. So here the 11th question, what is the method of controlling pests without using chemicals? So they are asking what is the method of controlling pest without using chemicals. Chemicals they are not using. This is a biological pest control method. What is meant by biological pest control method? 1 minute. Answer is biological pest control method. It used to control the pest without using chemicals, because they are derived from naturally. They derived from naturally from plants, animals. So these are the mostly used because they are without using the chemicals, right children? They are because the biopesticides are eco-friendly, right children? So like example from the plants is neem oil. Neem oil used to reduce the pest, which mainly the main motto of the biological pesticides is to control the pest populations, right children? That is why the answer for this question is biological pest control methods used for the biopesticides, mostly used to control pest without using chemicals, right children? So coming to the next question here, which chemicals are used to provide nutrients to the soil? The primary requirement of plants needed to provide nutrients is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. There we call it as a fertilizers, right children? So here the direct answer is fertilizers is the correct answer for this question, right children? It is a one word statement, children. The chemicals have, because why the fertilizers only? Because they are nutrient specific. They have the primary nutrients like NPK, right children? So these chemicals used to provide nutrients to the soil. This is what about the 12th question. Coming to the next question, name the large containers used to store grains. They are asking about the grains, right children? So for the buffer stock, the extra grains, where we store the garment, where the extra grains, the bulk of grains is stored in the silos. These are the containers. They are used to store the large amount of grains, right children? These are silos, the large containers which used to store grains in a large scale, right children? This is a direct statement. And coming to the 14th question, name a weedicide which used to commonly used for the farmers. They are asking a weedicide. Weedicide, what is meant by weedicide? Weedicides are the chemicals used to spray in the desirable crops to eliminate the unwanted plants, right children? To remove reduce the weeds, right children? So for the most used, commonly used by the farmers is 2,4-D. 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid is the most. Another more, weedicides are 2,4-D, beta-chlor, right children? Metachlor, Sinagine. These are the other chemicals, but the most used chemical is 2,4-D, 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, right children? So coming to the last question here. See, name the machine by which harvesting and threshing both can be done. So they are asking the machine name called. So harvesting means when the crop is ready to gather, when the crop is mature. The usually taken by the manual method by the implement by called sickle. For the threshing is usually done by the manual method with the hitting the stack into the hard substance to collect the grains. So the both done by the machine. It is a modern method, children. So they are asking about the machine name. The machine name is combine is the machine by which both harvesting and threshing both works to be done. So this is about the today's session, children. So this is the end of the crop production and management chapter from the 8th standard CBSE. So tomorrow we will discuss another new chapter. Okay children. So before end this session, once again I am reminding you children, we have started the foundation course from the 6th to 10th standard people. The main motto of our foundation course is we are teaching the main subjects of physics, chemistry, biology and mathematics, which are useful for the exams of both NEET and JEE. The main concepts are discussed in this foundation course is according to the exams of NEET and JEE. The basic level to the at most top level we are discussing the topics. So children, the class is available in both English medium for both CBSE also and SSE also. And the one-on-one doubt clearing sessions will be there. And the mode of learning is through digital panel, children. The concept should be explained through videos, animations, right children, to get for your better understanding. So don't miss this opportunity. The next batch is going to start from the April 15th onwards. Don't miss this opportunity, children. So it is from both online also, offline also. For offline people, you can happily come to your institute name called NEET WORLD, present in Hyderabad, Narayani G, near metro station. You want to join in the online sessions, you are in the scrolling down number is there, no? You can contact through that number. Then we will give the access for you, the classes, children. The first free basic classes are free, children. So don't miss this opportunity. So this is about the foundation course. Don't miss this opportunity, children. I hope all of you clear about these sessions of the crop production and management. If any doubts, please comment in the comment section. So thank you, children.